Sorry about that. The recording got stopped. Okay. So the Bluetooth can be piconets or scaternets. Piconets are when two or more devices are connected to form one network, and all these devices within the network are using the same channel. Each piconet has a master and a slave, and it, at one time there can be 7 active slaves. Sometimes there might be a collection of piconets to form one huge network, which is called a scaternet. A master in one particular piconet can be a slave in another piconet within which are within one scaternet, and the same applies with a slave. One slave in one piconet can be a master in another piconet within the same scaternet. Bluetooth has two layers, the radio layer and the baseband layer. The radio layer deals with the transmission and modulation and is responsible for moving data from master to slave and slave to master. It also changes the bits into signals which are being sent in the Bluetooth. And the baseband layer uh, is responsible for allocating time slots for nodes to communicate with each other. They communicate in half duplex, which means that they cannot send and receive at the same time. A radio frequency identification or RFID. RFID consists of two parts, mainly the RFID tag and the reader. So the RFID uses radio waves to read and receive the whatever the data which is stored in the tag. So a tag is used to transmit the signal, and it needs to be held against the reader so the reader can receive the signals. A tag has two parts: the microchip, which stores and processes whatever the information, and an antenna which receives or transmits signals. When the tag is held close to the reader emits a signal to the tag. The tag then transmits the information uh, which is stored in its microchip to the reader. The RFIDs uh, can be passive or active. The passive RFID is when the tag is powered by the reader before transmitting, and in active, the tags have a built-in power supply to it. RFIDs are mainly used in inventory management or controlling access to secure authorized areas only. Zigbee is a cost-effective wireless technology for controlling and monitoring. It is cost-effective because it can connect machines, and it can those which are connected can be controlled through one one connection, which while it consumes very less power. And usually the range Zigbee covers is 10 to 100 meters, and the communication in Zigbee is less expensive and simpler than other short range wireless sensor networks like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Zigbee is mainly used in home automation and industrial automation. Hotspot is when multiple devices is is, connect, is connected at the same time. For example, devices like smartphones or smart TVs can be connected to the computer, and it all seems like the traffic is coming from the computer. And all the devices is so since all the smart TVs and smartphones are connected to the computer, All the devices, all those devices are connected to the internet without having any restrictions, since the main computer is connected to the internet. And usually 5 or 10 devices can be connected at once. Most common types of hotspots are the ceiling, ceiling Wi-Fi and the social Wi-Fi. Li-Fi stands for light fidelity, and unlike in Wi-Fi, Li-Fi uses radio waves rather than sorry, Li-Fi uses light waves instead of radio waves to transmit data. In a Li-Fi network, even most probably an LED bulb, light bulb, will be used as a router where the speed is up to 224 gigabits per second, as shown as in the image. The light bulb is used as the router, and the light bulb, there is the fast dimming inside the light bulb is converted by the receiver into an electrical signal. That signal is then converted to binary data, which is recognized by the receiver as web, audio, video, etc. The benefits of Li-Fi is that it has higher speeds than the Wi-Fi, and it is more secure because data cannot be intercepted without a clear line of sight, and it prevents piggybacking. Li-Fi can be used in conferences, seminars, meetings, offices, wireless sense networks, or WSN. It's a set of devices that gather information and communicate whatever the information gathered within each other. They're communicated through wireless links. There are many nodes which are sensors and base stations in a particular WSN. This this sort of network is mainly used to monitor environment conditions, soil conditions, and used for military purposes as well. The data collected from the sensors are passed on to a main location, as shown in the image. Depending on the environment, the type of wireless sense network used can be different. The main types of wireless sensor network, wireless sensor networks are terrestrial, underground, underwater, multimedia, and mobile. Designing a wireless network. It's not easy to design a wireless network. There are many factors to consider. The physical area where the wireless network is about to be implemented can have many obstacles, such as walls, mirrors, power lines, microwaves, so on. The interference caused by these objects can directly affect the signal strength, which can lead to a bad experience for the user. So designing a wireless network can be done in two ways, using the manual design and using a tool which is called a heat map. Using a heat map is much easier because there are there are lots of available heat map tools available on the internet, and you can identify where the Wi-Fi coverage is hot, cold, or decent, as shown in the image, attached image. This is the output of a heat map. It shows where the Wi-Fi signal is more strengthened, weak, and which is decent according to a particular flow plan. So all you need to use this sort of tool is a computer with internet connection and a heat map tool, and of course the blueprint or a map of the physical area where the Wi-Fi is about to be implemented. The two different bands in Wi-Fi are 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz. Each of these bands have channels. The 2.4 GHz band has 11 channels. Most of these 11 channels overlap each other. So mainly